So you saw my reel the other day about a National Guard in the United Kingdom. Some people responded, why would you want martial law? Why would you want to curb free speech in this country? I can't believe you've even come out with this, Bruce. Fundamentally proving to me they have no idea what I'm talking about or what a National Guard would actually do. So let's talk about it now. Because we're in Britain, the country that once ruled the waves, and we can't even keep its own streets safe anymore. Knife crime's out of control, illegal immigration is utterly out of control, and entire areas of London feel like foreign enclaves where the police are outnumbered, underarmed, and terrified of offending someone. And here's the thing, we already have the structure to fix it. The Territorial Army, now called the Army Reserve. But instead of using it, we've let it wither away. Why not rebuild it into a UK National Guard, a sovereign internal force that protects this country from within? Not some militarized dictatorship driving tanks down the street, but a properly trained, law-bound, civilian-controlled reaction force. The kind of force that can step in fast when chaos breaks out, back up the police when they're overrun, and protect communities when government incompetence leaves them stranded. And we've only got to look at London and Manchester in the last few days to understand why we might need this. Here's the truth. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The Army Reserve already exists. Thousands of trained personnel, most part-time, underused and itching to do more than weekend drills and paperwork. But instead of being a dormant support wing, it could be retasked as a UK National Guard, a rapid response, internally focused, locally based security force. Its job wouldn't be to replace the police, it would be to reinforce them when the system buckles. And let's be honest, the line between law enforcement and national security has blurred. We've got illegal immigration, terrorism, riots, organised gangs, radical protest movements, all stretching police to the limit. And when things really explode, the only option is the full military. That's not sustainable and it's not democratic. What we're missing is the middle layer, trained, visible, respected and accountable, and to be worried about if they ever get called out. That's where this new force comes in. Now, this isn't about sending soldiers onto high streets or intimidating citizens. This is about building resilience, a force that is both local and sovereign, a force that stands between peaceful citizens and the chaos that incompetent governments have allowed to take root. Patriotic ex-veterans and ex-police would be the backbone. If we build it, we do it right. We put ex-veterans and ex-police officers at the heart of it. Because we've got tens of thousands of former servicemen and women, disciplined, trained, loyal, who've been left behind. Some are homeless, some are working jobs that don't even scratch the surface of their skills. That in itself is criminal. Why not give them what they deserve? Paid instructor roles, leadership positions, and housing support. Because these are people who know structure, who know discipline, who know how to lead under pressure. They'd train new recruits, they'd command local units, and they'd finally be doing something that actually serves the country they risk their lives for. And we'd also have to bring in experienced ex-police, the ones who understand neutrality, people who understand the law, procedure and crowd control to make sure everything stays within proper limits. We certainly don't want the ones who rip flags out of young girls' hands. No cowboy policing, no rogue soldiers, a clear lawful chain of command, combining military structure with police accountability. Imagine what that would do. Veterans off the streets, law enforcement strengthened, communities protected. That's how you build a sovereign, self-reliant Britain. Now let's deal with the big one, weapons. Yes, they'd be armed, not with automatic rifles, not with live rounds on the high street, but with non-lethal deterrents, stun weapons, rubber bullets, tasers, and riot control gear. Because when you're dealing with mass mobs setting off fireworks at police or rioters looting shops, you need a force that can respond, not stand there and watch. This isn't about militarizing Britain, it's about defending it. These units would be a reaction force, there when the police are overwhelmed, there when terror or disorder breaks out, and there as a visible deterrent to anyone who thinks they can take over British streets. Let's stop pretending that visibility isn't half the battle. Criminals and radicals thrive on weakness. But once you put a disciplined, visible armed guard unit on the ground, and suddenly that false sense of anarchy disappears. No one in this country who obeys the law should ever fear that. If you're not burning flags, robbing shops, or calling for intifada on Oxford Street, this force isn't your problem. It's actually your protection. But, and this is crucial, we need it under civilian control. Parliament sets the boundaries. Local police request deployments. Oversight is completely independent and public. Every action logged, every use of force reviewed, annual reports published. Transparency stops tyranny, and that's the difference between a National Guard and a dictatorship. These are not political foot soldiers for the government. They are a sovereign safeguard for the people. Now, onto the practical stuff, jobs and numbers. Start with the existing 27,000 strong Army Reserve. Expand it to 50,000 trained personnel over 5 years. Structure it regionally, local units of 200 to 300, train at existing TA centres. Offer apprenticeships, trade skills and proper pay, £50 to £100 a day for training, plus bonuses for emergency call-ups. That means people can serve part-time and contribute to local resilience. And here's the thing, that money isn't wasted. It goes straight back into the communities. It creates stability, discipline, and opportunity. It gives veterans a purpose and younger recruits a trade. If you want real leveling up, this is how you do it. Not photo ops, not slogans, actual action. And let's talk about costs and rollouts. For the bean counters, yes, it's affordable. The Army Reserve currently costs about $430 million a year. Scaling this up to a full National Guard would cost around 800 to 1 billion annually. That's roughly what the government spends in 10 days on asylum hotels, or what we lose every week on debt interest. So don't tell me we can't afford it. We just choose not to. Now let's talk about the rollout plan. Year 1 to 2, we need to draft and pass legislation, pilot in 5 regions and focus on veteran-heavy recruitment. Years 3 to 5, expand to 35,000 trained personnel, build regional hubs and establish police integration. Then year 6 plus, full 50,000 strong national capability with independent oversight in place. These people would not go abroad and fight. They would be specifically set here in the United Kingdom. That's not fantasy, that's an actual timetable. So there you have it, a repurposed Territorial Army, veterans and ex-police leading from the front, armed, trained and accountable, not plastic police, but a sovereign reaction force to protect the country, its sovereignty, when politicians won't. It would first stop lawlessness in its tracks, give ex-servicemen and women a new mission, and rebuild community security from the ground up. And yes, under this Labour government, forget it. They'd twist it into something dark. But under a government that values sovereignty, liberty and security, this could change Britain forever. So I'll ask you straight, do you want to keep watching this country slide into chaos? Or do you want a serious, lawful sovereign force that stands between your family and the mob? If you want me to follow up, I'll draft the specific illegal safeguards and rollout plan you could take straight to a councillor or MP with the numbers, the costings and the jobs. If this sounds good, hit like, share this with someone who's fed up with lawlessness, and let's get the conversation started.